Hello, this is Professor Ratajczyk, and I'm going to do a walkthrough of the LemonadeSold assignment from Chapter 2. Okay. First things first, I want you to write the very first stuff or things that you did when you opened up this file. Okay. Did you canvas the data? Did you just go right into it? What did you do? Okay. Second thing, I want to create a histogram. Okay, a histogram just shows frequency. So what I'm going to do is create a histogram that just shows a count of the number of days that have certain temperatures. Okay, very first thing we need to do is create our bins. Before we even go up to the data analysis pack tool, we need to create our bins. And I'm going to just start with 70. And the reason I'm going to start with 70 is because that's the minimum value. I'm going to start with 70. And I'm going to increment by 5. Okay? You get to decide. There is a statistical method for optimizing your number of bins. But in data visualization for making business decisions, we typically try to get 7 to 9 bins. That's pretty much all the human eye can handle. And so we don't try to create more than 9 or 10 bins. Optimally, we want 7. So I'm just going to increment by 5. Or sorry. So I'm going to increment based on the schedule down here. So 70 to 79 is going to be one of my bins. So I'm going to put a 79 there. 80 to 89 is another bin. So I'm putting 89, 99, 109. Because Excel is going to take everything below 79, everything below 89 but greater than 79, etc. So it's going to intuitively do this for us. So now I'm going to go up to Data. And you should have already installed your data analysis pack. If you have not seen this on your computer, then you have to go to Blackboard and look at the Excel information on Blackboard, and it'll give you a document to do this. Okay. We're going to want histogram. Hit OK. This histogram box will show up. We want input range. Again, we're just doing temperature. So we're going to grab A2 all the way down to A39. Okay. See how that is up in here? A2 to A139. Bin range, we're going to go find those bins we just created. Okay, so we're going to highlight those bins, put those bins together, and now we're going to put it in a new worksheet by default, but we're going to type this in as analysis. And we want to make sure we have a chart output. So we're going to hit OK, and there's our histogram. As you can see, it is left skewed, because most of the results are not on the left-hand side. Okay, so that is your histogram. That is your first task. Important thing to note, save your file after each task, because numerous times have something crashed where students have worked hard on something and have had to repeat it. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, if something crashes, I'm not giving you an extension on it. So save your file, save it often. Save it in different versions. Do what you need to do to make sure that your file is saved at important parts. Okay. So now data, we're going to go back here and calculate and show the following statistics. Sum if, average if by temperature, and using LemonadeSold as the quantity. Okay. Then we're going to do the mode of all the data, the median of all the data, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay. So we're going to do all this on the analysis tab because data visualization is the name of the game here. So we want to have things in one spot instead of having it in multiple sheets and all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sum if and an average if. And I'll walk you through that. Okay. So what we're going to do is grab these two columns over here. High temperature and cups of LemonadeSold. We're going to bring them back over here. Put them wherever you like. I just landed in A13 and B13. It doesn't really matter at this point where you land and paste your information in. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is put all of those various temperatures in this column right here and all this stuff right here from A14. To do that, I'm going to grab all of this information, all of it, okay, all 138 rows. I'm going to paste it in here, okay? Now, what I want to do is remove duplicates because I only want a concise summary. That's what you're summing. Sum if, summation, okay? S-U-M, summary, same kind of lingo there. Starting to follow along in how this is going, okay? So we want to go up to remove duplicates. It's in the data tab. While we have all of our pasted temperatures highlighted, remove duplicates. It's going to warn us because it knows there's other data around this sheet. What we want to do is say continue with current selection and remove duplicates. Okay, so 30 out of 106 values, 32 are unique. Okay, so now we don't have 138 rows anymore. We have, this many. Okay, and we have 32 rows. So what we're going to do first is we are going to sum the number of cups sold for each temperature, each unique temperature. Okay. So we're going to use sum if. Okay, now CS 102 class, basics of Excel. I know you've gone through this, but here's the refresher. Sum if is a logical expression. It is saying for every amount of lemonade sold at each of these temperatures, I want to sum it up. Because remember, we have over 100 rows of data in the data tab. Some of them have multiple days of 70-degree weather. We're going to sum up all of those quantities that are in those 70-degree weather. So the first thing that Excel wants us to do is find a range. Okay, so if it's more helpful to you, I'm going to open up the wizard. So I got the wizard here, function arguments, the range. Those are the cells that we want to look at to identify temperature. We want, in the range, the cells to identify temperature. So we have to go back to the Data tab. Okay, currently we're in Analysis tab. We need to go to the Data tab. And we got to grab all of these ranges, or all of this value. So from A2 all the way down to A139, we're going to grab all that into a range column. Okay, now we're going to click on Criteria. Criteria is saying, okay, you told me to look in this column. What in the heck do you want me to look for? Okay, so again, in the range section, you told Excel to look in a certain spot. Now you have to tell it, okay, what to look for. In that case, we want 70. So instead of typing in a hard code of 70, we want to click and reference A14 because that is where our 70 is located. Okay? Next, it's like, okay, I told Excel where to look, I told it what to look for, and now, what do you want me to do with it once I find it? That's what the sum range is saying. What do you want me to do once I find it? And what we want it to do is we want it to sum, which by default, we're summing something. We don't want it to sum temperature. That doesn't make any sense. What we want it to do is sum the number of cups of lemonade sold in each of those temperatures. So we're going to go down and grab 138 rows there, but this time for cups sold. And we're going to hit OK. So now, out of 70-degree weather, we sold 21 total cups. And how do we know that? Because look at this. This is our 70-degree weather. Okay? 11 plus 10 is 21. Okay? So that's how we know this is correct. Now we're just going to double click and drag down, and now we have our answer. Okay? Just a spot check. Let's sum up the total cups sold. Okay, so we're going to do a sum function on all of these cups. Okay, 4,933 cups were sold. Now let's go back to the Data tab and highlight all of this information. And go down to the bottom right of your screen on the green ribbon, and it should say a sum of 4933. Okay, that is the same number as what we got over here, so we know this is correct. Okay, so we just summarized this information. Okay, that is the sum if.